welcome to Crochet Knit Love by Jo. I'm Jo and this is podcast number 9. Number 9 already. So these 2 weeks are coming around quick. Now I've got more of a structure on when I'm going to do these podcasts. I am finding that the 2 weeks is flying by. So I'll let you into a little secret. This is about attempt number 10. I started waffling on without realising that I'd actually got it on slow-mo. So I'm talking really slowly about the yarn. Ellie has been an absolute pain in the bottom because she has barked and barked to the point now I've had to shut her in the room with me because she keeps going and barking at everything. She has very good hearing. Our elderly dogs didn't have such good hearing, so you kind of took it for granted that they wouldn't keep barking, whereas this one does. Yappy Yorkie. So I hope everyone's been okay. I am wearing, which I'm going to take off in a minute because it's quite warm, but you'll see the red and blue. Do you like what I've done there? So in the UK, we have the Jubilee weekend next weekend. Normally we get 2 bank holiday Mondays off in May. In May, we have next Friday as the bank holiday, and we have the Thursday, so we get 4 days off. So we have, those of us who planned ahead have only had to take 3 days holiday, but are obviously able to have 5 days off. So I think a lot of companies are going to be quite empty next week. So we have decided to take our old motorhome Doris up to Lancashire for a few days to visit the northern side of the family, and also we're going away in Doris so that we feel like we're having a bit of a holiday in our van, and hopefully I'm going to get some knitting done. I'm not sure how much, but it'll just be nice for us not to be at work and hang out. And we're going to be doing some walking because our company's actually doing a charity walk again where we pledge how many miles we're going to walk to raise money for charity. And we have clocked a few miles up. I can't run. Some people are doing cycling and running. I'm walking. That is as much as you can get out of me. What I am going to try and do is walk and knit. That's a good idea. If you do hear on the news that anyone has fallen off a cliff or mountain's probably a little bit over the top for Lancashire. They do have some big hills though. But if you hear that someone's fallen off whilst knitting, that will be me, because I'm not quite sure how successful I'm going to be with knitting and walking. We shall see. So what am I wearing? So I think I did start telling you. The obviously the reds and the blues colours will be out. I made bunting for, did I do it last year? I think I did. Red, white and blue bunting. So I thought I'd wear red and blue. It is only going to be red soon because I'm really warm. This is a lovely shawl. It is it's a free pattern on Hobby Yarns, I think it is. And it's a triangle shawl. It's not really this sort of shawl weather. It's a really soft acrylic yarn. Can't remember the colourway, but it's one of those yarns, you know, the yarn cakes where the colours change themselves. It's one of those, and it has 3 tassels on it. It's a free pattern on their website, but if you search on Ravelry, you'll see there's a few free patterns. That is a triangle shawl. It's huge. This is my go-to winter shawl. So I've got quite a long waterproof coat that I'll wear when we go out with the dog, and obviously it's normally raining, so I'll wear that, but I'll also be able to wrap myself up in this. So you can wear it either way. I tend to like to wear the triangles like that. So that's my blue contribution, and obviously red dress, so I didn't have to go to too much trouble, did I? So so I was gonna, train of thought nearly went there. I've done this several times, so you think I'd know it off by heart now, this podcast. I was going to show you some blankets, but bit of an issue. Washed the blankets, they've all gone into Doris, the one that I was going to show, and I've tried to record this so many times I haven't gone back out to get it. So what I thought I'd show instead is something that you can make if you start a blanket and get bored, which is basically what I did. So I made a cushion. I've got, which would have been quite funny to use, a snippet of a video where I had the cushion here and Ellie decided to make a bed on it, and I had to lift the cushion up with the dog on it. This is what I made ages ago. It's Stylecraft yarn, and I started doing granny square, yeah, all the same colours, and then I got bored because I've made quite a few blankets, and sometimes I don't want to make a blanket, I might want to make something else. So you could turn it into a cushion. Doesn't matter what size cushion you've got, you just need to kind of plan how to do it. So this wasn't crocheted diagonally. You'll see it's got loads of bobbly bits on it because it has been used a lot. I've got a chair behind the camera that is my little cozy corner, which this cushion is, so obviously it gets used quite a lot. You make the squares, so you would do a section of granny squares, and then I'll show you the back. I knitted 3 trebles, you know, where you do a border all the way around, so it was like that sort of size. And then when you have a square, turn it diagonally and then fold each of the corners in, which is how you make this. So that's the corner of the blanket there, and you fold it in to make like an envelope effect. Some people put buttons on. I clearly couldn't be bothered to do it with this one. I have got one with buttons on so you can wash it, and this I just joined just with a single crochet, so it just did a little bump, so you can have it round that way. But you'll see here is the square. Might have gone off camera then. You'll see there's the square there. So that's what you can do if you don't want to crochet a big blanket, turn it into a cushion. This is a big cushion. You can get much smaller cushion pads. It really does depend on how big your cushion wants. So that's another thing. So this was going to be a blanket, but then turned into a cushion. But that wasn't a pattern. That was just something I did myself. It's quite easy. You just fold the corners in. So that was that. I want to show you there's a new shawl come out with, I mentioned them several times only because I use a number of yarn companies, but Black Sheep Wools have come out with a designer to make a shawl pattern. It's called the Faded Line Shawl. Sorry if there's any blue on my hands. I was dyeing early this morning and my glove split, so I've got funny coloured hands in places. And it's from Black Sheep Wools, and the lovely Sarah on the back modelling them, because there's the 3 different colourways. And you can get this pattern if you buy the shawl kit. The yarn that they've used is it Coop Knits? I always want to say Co-op Knits, but that's not like sock share. So this is the sock one. The cowl that I did on a few episodes ago, I think was with the double knit yarn of this. I'm sure it was. But it's really nice yarn, and it's bargain price. It's not expensive compared to some sock yarns. And you get the pattern in your little bag, and you get 3 sets. I went for that colour, yellows and blues. I'm not sure why I picked that colour. I'm surprised I didn't pick the blue one or the pinky one. I have no idea. I think it's because I actually have that blue, and I don't, who knows. Anyway, it's not good to be different. So that's just come out, and you can get it from Black Sheep Wools. So yeah, I've got that, my projects to do. Add it to the pile. So we've decided, because of the Jubilee weekend, as I said, we're going to go and have a bit of a break in Doris. Done the ironing. All the clothes are downstairs. Cole has to pack his own clothes because I have to do mine and Jake's. That's enough. And I haven't packed our clothes yet. But hey, I've packed my knitting. Packed my yarn. So I have in my Mrs. Brown's bag a selection of yarn, and I have packed, which I've put on Instagram. Sorry, Ellie, I've just dropped a bag of yarn on her head. Abusing my dog with yarn. I've decided to make a t-shirt with yarn, merino yarn, so it's nice and soft. A tee, it's called, raglan top down. It's a free pattern. I'll list the pattern underneath because I've already checked and I haven't printed the bit that has the name on it. But I've made a little bit of an error where I didn't dye enough yarn because I thought I would have enough. Clearly I haven't. And do you think I can recreate this colour? This was early days of yarn dyeing where I was just playing, throwing any colour in, and I can't remember how I did this. So it's kind of come out lighter than I'd hoped. So I'm thinking I might have to maybe do, I've seen somewhere there's stripes across all here and then it's just another colour underneath. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do. I think I'll just add different colours of Winnie's yarn and then you guys can see what the colours look like, and then I'll get some kind of sort of top. So that's where I've got so far. It's just a basic raglan with the stitches, the make one left, make one right, which I can never remember how to make, so I'll show you what I've done to remember that. And I have my little, I love this little row counter, which I got from Botanical Yarns, and it's 12, I can't read, do you know what, I can't see it. Is it 12 and Pearl? I can't actually read the writings. I'm going to put that underneath as always. And I've got some yarn that I've done, and there's Winnie's Pink. I've got a feature Winnie's Pink in it. And how I've done it, because basically the yarn ends up going everywhere, I've got my little bag from Jane's Stitch, and I'll put her name below. She's on Etsy. I've mentioned her before. And I've wound little Winnie's balls up, Winnie's skeins up. I've wound these up in different colours and popped them into my little bag. It's Jane Stitch 63. I forgot the 63 at the end. And a little project bag's perfect for putting the little balls of yarn in, because I had them all tangled up with the main one. And that is, I'll list the pattern anyway, because I'm really enjoying the pattern. I'm literally going to run out of that darky blue, which is really annoying. I should have planned that. But that's why you should do a swatch, and you should check you have enough yarn. And I did the maths and obviously didn't do it properly. So that's the stripes on there. It's fine, I'll throw some other colours. So that's going to come away with me. Put it in the bag. And I've wound up some other little skeins. This is by a yarn dyeing company over in Florida. Yarnworks brings ships their yarn over, and they do little minis. So it's Emma's yarn. I'm going to show you a big skein first. You can see what I mean. So this is Emma's yarn. It's really nice teals and greys. I've wound that one up, and that's February 22, and that's their yarn, which you can get from Yarnworks. Or if you're in America, you can actually obviously buy direct. So I've packed one of them up, and then I've wound up some of their little Simply Spectacular smalls in my little bag, which obviously I did one as a giveaway. Perfect for holding those little skeins. And I've also packed Pigment and Ply. I've wound this up. So all of this yarn is 75% superwash and 25% nylon DK. And I'll tell you why I've done that. And it's those colours there, which are beautiful. I really like Pigment and Ply's yarn. Well, I like everybody's yarn. That's why I have lots of it. And then I've got another. How much knitting am I realistically going to do? Let's be honest. I'm being optimistic, aren't I? And that's Cooks and Crafts. She's going to be taking a bit of time out while she sorts her yarn studio out, but she still has lots of lovely yarns. and that's called Isle of Lewis, and this was in one of her treat boxes, which you get every couple of months. You get some lovely yarn in there. I've also got this skein that I think is from the one this week. I'm not going to show you that in case it spoils it. So I've got 400 grams skeins of yarn. The minis, the top, I might have to take the jumper. I think I'll have enough, won't I? You watch how much I come back with. So I wanted to show as well, I showed these before. I'll list the maker below, and I use these in my photos. I've got a knitted and a crochet. I contacted the maker to see whether they could make me one specific to my crochet knit Love by Jo and Winnie's, and she did. I love them. She was so helpful and did all the design work, sent it to me, and then obviously I bought them off her. So that's my crochet knit Love by Jo. I do have, which I'm not sure where they are at the minute, probably downstairs, 2 of the longer ones where you can put the different colours of yarn on. I've got one in a crochet knit, and then I've got Winnie's. So when I'm taking photos, I will put this with the yarn. And what's really good is if you were doing the skein of yarn or advertising something that you were selling, if you put this on it, it's almost like you're watermarking it as well, which is better because you can put it actually on the product. It's terrible you have to think like that, but you never know. So yeah, I had them done. They're beautiful, thank you. I got yarnistry, which when I recorded before, I then realised it was like chemistry. I can't believe how long it took me to. You see the little test tubes and the yarn in there. So you can find this maker on Etsy. This is how I measure my socks, my one pair of socks. I've had that for quite a while. That's brilliant for measuring the feet and seeing which size you need to make. But what I did get recently, purely because that top I've been doing, I could not remember make one left, make one right. Just, I had to keep referring back to the paper. She makes little key rings with it on. Aren't they brilliant? So I can clip it to my yarn bag, and then I've got the description and also Kitchener stitch. You're very clever if you can remember the Kitchener stitch, because a lot of people have to refer. So I got those, and they're on key rings. So that's Yarnistry. I'll list the name below. Go over and check them out on Etsy. They make brilliant key rings. They also make little stitch markers. I always forget what hook size I'm using, even with crochet. Couple of blankets I've gone back to, I can't remember what size. So she makes little ones with the needle or hook size. You can use them for either or. How fab are they? So yeah, that was my my one and only purchase this week, because I've had to put myself on a yarn ban. So right, Winnie's yarn, before I forget what I'm doing. So I showed this yarn on the last podcast. The stock yarn has already sold out, so I've got to dye some more. This is the merino, which is the one that I dreamt about, pinks and greens. Winnie's garden, I've called it. It just reminds me of a garden. Not my garden at the minute, that has no flowers in it, but only because the dog digs them up. But in a nice garden, you might have these sort of colours. So that was the merino DK, and I made another hat, another Violet Waffles hat, my third hat. But it's a free pattern, and it's an interesting knit. It's not too difficult. So this is what Winnie's garden looks like, knitted in the DK merino. That's that. I love this. How nice is that? Am I biased? Bits of browns, pinks, greens. So that was the hat, and I did a long tail cast on. Yeah, that's what I did when I started it. And then I did, rather than the pattern I from memory tells you to knit. I actually knit in the back, or maybe it does tell you to do that, and 2 pearls, but I just find it's a tidier band. So that's what I also finished. Giveaway. Da, 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 da. I'm just thinking, do you know what? Because I've recorded this a number of times, I've actually just thought, have I already done the giveaway? But I haven't. I think I'm going to need a gin after this. It's been a really long time trying to film it. So the giveaway from podcast 8 was this. This is one of my earlier sock yarns that I dyed, which is turquoise, magentas, and some kind of pale, like red colours. I'm using a different sock base now to what this was. So I thought I may as well give one of these skeins away for someone to try. And let me just grab my... Made a note of the name. Jake's already picked the name and I've forgotten the name. Just hum or talk amongst yourselves. There we go. I've got the name on here. There we go. I need to be more prepared, but I'm so busy sorting work, yarn dyeing, packing, which still hasn't gone in the van, so everything's a little rushed. So the winner, quite a few of you said to try the Crazy Sock Lady DK Vanilla socks. I watch her on the podcast, I watch her on YouTube, didn't even give it a thought. It's a free pattern, so thank you for recommending. So the winner that Jake's picked is Angie Roberts. Woo! Doesn't sound the same when it's all quiet. All I can hear is the clock ticking, but in my head there's loads of cheering. Angie Roberts, send me your address please, and I will get this posted to you. I am going to be away next week, but when I come back I will get this posted to you. So there's going to be about a week or so delay. I do normally try and get them out pretty much within a couple of days of you messaging me, but just to let you know, it'll be a bit longer purely because I'm not going to be here, but it'll be safe. And that's for Angie Roberts. If you can message me, ideally on Instagram, or if you go on my website on crochetknitlovebyjo.com, you can contact me that way. So you can do that because I'm getting messages from there. So whatever's easier for you. So that's your prize. So what I thought I'd do for this prize is we haven't done, it's unraveling, we haven't done many things with cotton. I've made quite a few things with cotton. So I thought it'd be really good to give away some of the sugar and cream cotton. So I must do this every episode where I drop them. Oh my goodness. Right, so I've got a set of 3. And this yarn, I believe you can actually get, or this cotton, I believe you can get from Hobbycraft. I believe if you're in the UK. It's a Yarn Inspirations one, I believe. And it's a funny size. I thought they were 50 grams, but they are 56.7 grams random, but I think they've done it because it's 2 ounces, 95 yards. That's obviously how they've worked it out. So if you wish to, I will push that end back in. It's because I've just caught it as I was coming picking them up. If you wish to win these 3 sets of cottons, which you can make all sorts with, you might just want to make some face cloths. They make really good, you know, like the flannel face cloths, they're really good for that. So if you wish to win these, comment below on what you would make with this cotton. Simple as that. And Jake will pick a winner. So these podcasts, the plan is they're going to be every 2 weeks. So you have about, he tends to pick it the day before I'm podcasting, so you normally have 10 to 11 days, that type of time scale. So the sooner you comment, the more chance you've got to win. So if you want to win those, comment below what you would make with them. I'll put that bit of orange back in that's escaped. So Winnie's yarn, which I was talking about, and then jumped onto the giveaway and then jumped back to Winnie's yarn. I've worn these a lot. I've obviously mentioned that I've only ever made one pair of socks. What you can make with sock yarn is wrist warmers. Not that you need them at the minute. These were one of my earlier ones, just where I was practicing with the yarn. Now this yarn is lovely. I'm gonna put because I need to remember which yarn it was. I'm going to put the yarn dyer. It's actually a yarn dyer who's local to me, and she dyed this colourway. She's really nice. It's the blues and lilacs again, and I'd had it for quite a while. These, as you can see, are starting to go a bit bubbly. I've worn these a lot. I love wrist warmers, but these haven't got the thumbs on them. They literally just go over your hand and your wrist. I'll put who the yarn dyer was, but that's something else you can make with sock yarn. I have quite a lot of sock yarn, and obviously I've only made one pair of socks, which I noticed have actually got a hole in them, so they are really tired now. I have worn them a lot. I'm telling a fib, aren't I? Only one pair of socks. I think you find I have 1.5 pairs of socks. I made a sock. So on you lovely followers' recommendations to check the Crazy Sock Ladies DK vanilla socks, I did. I downloaded the pattern and I made one sock. I've actually got buried under here. Oh yes, no second sock syndrome for me. Look, actually, so I'm just starting the heel. So I have started sock number 2, but I actually have a sock. It's double knit. Where has double knit sock yarn been all my life? Why did I not do it? It knitted so quick. And for me, that has struggled with just the concept of the sock. Some people just pick it up so quick. I didn't. But double knit socks, they're snugglier for your feet, and it's a perfect way for me. That is why, obviously I didn't say before, that's why my yarn I've packed to go away with next week is double knit 75-25. So it's got that 25% nylon, so I can make socks. So I will be making more socks. And as if it's not amazing that I've made a sock, it's in Winnie's yarn. So this is Winnie's yarn. This is magenta, which has got different shades of magenta in it. I don't know what I was doing with that. I just was playing around with some minis. Now I'm thinking of doing some sock sets. I can do double knit sock sets, and I can obviously do the normal 4-ply sock sets. And I used a 20-gram mini for the cuff. I didn't do the heel. The heel I needed to concentrate. I thought, I am not joining a yarn, because I put a row counter on my thumb. I did it all properly, but I didn't want to mess about changing colours, whereas the cuffs and the toe I was fine with. So I've got more than enough. Bearing in mind I've done the little cuff, so I've only got the toe to do with that. So 20 gram is more than enough. And the main yarn is Winnie's yarn, which is these skeins here. That one's got slightly darker colours in. I put more darker ones in that. They're all dyed together, but it kind of depends on how much dye you put in where. It has a really funky green. I went a bit crazy with the green. And I am not a massive fan of greens. I like pistachio type colours. Stylecraft's pistachio I love. Some of the greens, you know, bright green, I'll be like, I love it in these socks. So that is that sock yarn. So that one is probably more nearer that, but it just has random pops of colour in. Literally got a mixture of colours and had a play. But that is the sock yarn. So I'm going to be listing them in the shop, because I actually haven't done that yet. But that's what that type of colourway knits like, and just with a bright fuchsia magenta. I can't remember if it's fuchsia or magenta. I've got it written down. But there's my sock. I kept oohing and ahhing when I got to another bit, so I did that bit and I was like, ooh, and then I did the heel and there was more oohs, and I kept showing Carl and Jake, who by the end of it were like rolling their eyes. It's just a sock. No, it's not. It's my yarn, Winnie's yarn, and I've made a sock. So yeah, I keep stroking it. Weirdo. But yeah, so I'm not just a one pair of sock made person. That makes no sense. Made two. So hopefully I'm going to start some more socks. I'm going to finish this one. I have got, I can't remember who makes these. There's a number of makers make these little, I was going to call them ball sacks. I don't mean that, I don't mean that. Yarn holders, she says quickly. I couldn't think what, but that's, oh, sorry. Makes me laugh though. Makes these little pouches to put your skein yarn. So obviously that, I've got loads of yarn left. And what I will do, quickly changing the subject, is obviously out of that yarn I'm going to make another crochet square. I don't think I showed that one. I think I have done on Instagram. So obviously the hats I've made have now got matchy squares. So I'm going to do a blanket of some sort. So yeah, that stops that ball of yarn flying around, because it really drives me insane how I get this small one tangled with that. So yeah, that's my sock, my little sheepy sock holder. Yeah, I'm really chuffed for that. I was very excited making them. So yeah, thanks for your recommendations. I think it's really good if people share patterns that they are enjoying making or have made, because even though I watched Crazy Sock Lady on YouTube, it just didn't register about the DK socks. So yeah, thank you for that. And that's the sock yarn. That one's got a bit more purples in there. But yeah, so they're going to be listed. And is there anything else? Oh, prize. Talking of prize winners, I didn't show this last week, but I won last week, 2 weeks ago. I won some sock yarn off of Care Now Designs. You know, where you comment on Instagram post. Look at them. So sadly, she's not going to be doing as much dyeing as she has been for health reasons. So I do wish her well and send her lots of love. Because she really does do amazing yarn dyeing. But I won that as a prize, which I love. And I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. I'll just keep squidging it like we do with all yarns, don't we? Always squidging the yarn. So I've got a load of Winnie's yarn drying at the moment. I don't think they're going to be ready to list before I go away. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a note on the shop that I'm going to be away for a few days. So I won't be able to post anything until a week Monday. But in the meantime, if anybody wants to buy anything, I'm going to put below a 10% code that you can use on my website. And then I will obviously post them out when I come back. So sorry if you're having to wait. I've had there's been some really lovely purchases and I can't wait to see what they make. Paula Mitchell bought some sock yarn early on when the website had just started or had just been up and running, and she's finished her socks with that over on the Instagram. I've actually shared it in my stories. I was so pleased because it's like I take a bit of pride because I've dyed the yarn, and they are lovely though, the colourway, but also she does a really neat sock. So apparently I inspired her to make socks when I did this one, and she's knitted loads of socks and that's all I'd done. So she's now inspired me, amongst others, to have a go at socks again. So some yarn I have got, which is, it's merino, is it Donegal Nep? As always, put the name underneath. So I have to spend so much time adding things because I can't remember them. You can get ones where people get them. So my jumper that I'm knitting with that Stylecraft yarn has little black bits of the net. I think that's the nep. I actually got some Sis's yarn I've dyed myself. I got some with the white, which looks like little bits of snowflakes. You might think it's something else. I don't know why I'm thinking of snow as we're going into the summer. But this is a really nice grey one. This is really soft. I'm going to put the percentage of what's in the yarn so you can see what it's actually made of, because it's really nice and soft. And I did this pink one with some of the grey from this one mixed, and I've also dyed it in turquoise, which I really like. So I'm going to have to knit something with this, but I've also got other yarn, Winnie's yarn, that I need to knit. My friends actually suggested knitting little jumpers and socks. I didn't even think of that. Rather than knitting a whole sock, is I'll just make little ones so you can see them, and then I can make a garland out of them. Thank you for that, Anne. I did not think of that. So yes, this is a new edition base that is going to be joining the shop. Hopefully I'm going to get that listed as well as the other two. The ones that are drying at the moment, they won't get listed. I physically won't get them all photographed and dry before we go, or labelled. But yeah, but those of you who have ordered, thank you so much. Randomly, Etsy started working. I listed a load of yarn and it's not worked for weeks. So obviously I did my own website, and then randomly I got a sale on Etsy last night. Because Etsy's just started working. I have no idea. Luckily the yarn that's on there isn't the yarn that I'm selling on my website. It was like an earlier batch. I need to kind of merge the two into it. The only thing with Etsy, it's all the fees. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to do. But I do like having my own website as well, because everything's all together. So we shall see. I'll see what happens. So yes, while I'm away, there'll be a 10% discount code, which I'll list again below now. And you can get a discount while I'm away, because you'll have just a little bit longer wait for the yarn. I'm pretty quick at posting the yarn, but obviously I can't take all the yarn in Doris as much as I'd like to. There'll be no room for anything. So yes, I think that's it. This is attempt number, I don't know, I think it's taken me 8 attempts to get to this. So dog's passed out, so I can finish quietly. And I hope whatever you're doing, those of you are fortunate to have the long weekend off, I hope you get to have a rest, spend some time with friends or family, or time on your own if you prefer that. I love a bit of time on my own, to be honest. And I wish you lots of enjoyment with your knitting and crochet, and I will see you in a couple of weeks' time. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, and prize winner, please contact me.